have a lot of love from people, but some of my video, I don't think the public gets to see this anymore. But when I'm looking at my analytics on YouTube, I see sometimes I have like 20, 30, 50, 15 likes. Then I have one, right?
Oh, yeah, one dislike.
Yeah. If that person only knew, I don't know if it's one person or I don't know, but it's like one on several videos. And I'm like, if they only knew, if they really want me to not show up, don't dislike it. Because when I see that, I'm coming more. I'm not quitting now.
Yeah.
Right? That's just how I'm wired. And then even with comments, what I do is I'll read a comment and I'll get emotional. I'll let it go. Yeah, I'll let myself just go. I'll get whatever, if it's hurtful or angry, whatever, I just let myself do it. Then I'll like, all right, this person, are they a troll? If they're a troll, and I'm like, how can I spin this into something positive, right? So I'm looking, I'm like, is there anything that's true that I can make myself better?
Yeah.
Right? So they're trying to be hurtful, but can I make myself better from this? If it's just hurt, they're just trying to, then I'm like, I just let it go. If it's something like, hey, you do this all the time and that's stupid and your videos suck, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, so that's just hate stuff. That's their opinion. But this part, can I do this better? Is this a problem? Maybe they're highlighted something. Now I'm letting them make me better.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how I handle that. I'm not always perfect at it. But.
No, I will, after I get over my anger, if you will, just displeasure. The other day, I actually had one. I usually use this as an opportunity to kind of like just remind people.
Yeah.
Like, let's say I'll get a comment that says, "What was the purpose of this clip?" Yeah. And I write back and say, "The purpose of any clip is to draw interest to the episode from which it came."
Yeah.
It's not they shouldn't be a standalone. We're not just here to standalone entertain you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to entice you with a hook at the end or whatever to come check it out.
Right.
So I'm sorry that you feel and then I'll say like, I'm sorry I didn't meet your expectations.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But then and then sometimes there was one time I was wrong on how like the memory, it's just funny how facts, like you might have a story that you have told over and over, but the more you tell it, some of the facts get screwed up.
Right.
Even though it's still coming from your brain and it comes from your recollection. But, and so
the fish
sometimes I will,
it's grown, right?
People get really upset and they different comments. But if a comment is kind of like, hey, did you guys do your research on this? And so, you know what? You're right. I'm normally not this sloppy and I apologize. This won't happen again, because there's like, you're right. I should not have really mentioned that with that specificity if I wasn't specific on, if I didn't know what the actual statistic was that I quoted. Okay. I'll take that.
And that's so good. That speaks volumes too, right? Because that person, they may make a decision, that wasn't factual, so I'm not coming back. But there's chances other people will see that and be like, oh my gosh, I respect that.
Yeah.
Right. I like the way he handles that. I'm going to listen even more. I'm that kind of person.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with like, I don't cuss on this podcast.
Right.
I don't drink. I don't smoke. Other people seem to find that interesting. And I don't, it's like such a turn off for me. If I turn on a podcast and it's a bunch of dudes, even though some of them are like former NBA players, like, it's like, come on, what are we doing?
Right.
What are we in high school or college?
Absolutely.
And you're lighting up and you're like, who cares?
Yeah.
Just get to the content.
Right.
But so if my show is not provocative, and then why would my comments be provocative?
Right. Love that.
So I'm going to continue being the same professional, as I can in the comments as I am in the show.
Right.
Otherwise, I just turn into this Reddit. Like Reddit's the worst. These people get behind or the neighbor app. What's that thing called?
Next door.
Oh my gosh, these people are just assassins.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting. But there's another part of it like just don't engage at all.
Yeah.
But that can be a negative. I think it's a good point you bring up though. If you do engage, number one, the algorithm probably likes it.
Yeah.
But number two, hey, I'm willing to accept some constructive feedback and have a dialogue with this person.
Yeah, constructive feedback.
Right.
Absolutely.